Simple past and past participle of spatulate. Spatulately, in a spatulate manner. Spatulates. Third person singular simple present indicative of spatulate. Spatulating. Present participle and gerund of spatulate. Spatulation. The act of mixing something with a spatula, either manually or automatically. Spatulations. Plural of spatulation. Spatule. A spatulate formation. Spatules. Plural of spatule. Spatuletale. Lotigesia mirabilis, a sexually dimorphic hummingbird with blue crest feathers, a brilliant turquoise gorget, and a black line on its white underparts. Spatuletales. Plural of spatuletale. Spatuliform. Shaped like a spatula. Spatuloid. Resembling a spatula in shape. Spatulomancy. Divination or foretelling of future events through animals' shoulder blades. Spatulos. Alternative form of spatulus. Spatulus. Resembling a spatula in shape. Having a round flat tip. Spatulae. Plural of spatula. Spatzel. Alternative spelling of Spitzel. Spetzel. Alternative spelling of Spitzel. Spatzels. Plural of spatzel. Spetzels. Plural of spetzel. Spätzle. A type of wheat flour noodle used in Swiss and southern German cooking. De Bar. Avot. Heva. A surname from German. Hebas. Plural of spa. Sabarnes. Plural of spa. Debald. The shoulder. Spalder. A piece of plate armor that protects one's shoulder, generally covering less than the pauldron which developed later. Spalders. Plural of spalder. Spalding. A surname. Spaldings. Plural of spalding. The balls. Plural of spald. Tvor. A surname from German. Tvors. Plural of spore. Spev. Archaic form of spay, remove the ovaries of an animal. Speut. Simple past and past participle of spave. Spevam. A surname. Speus. Third person singular simple present indicative of spay. Spaden. A bony swelling which develops in a horse's leg where the shank and splint bone meet, caused by inflammation of the cartilage connecting those bones. Also, a similar swelling caused by inflammation of the hock bones. Spavindy. Spavined, having spavin. Spavined. Of a horse, having spavin, a disease of horses caused by a bony swelling which develops in a leg due to inflammation. Spaving. Present participle and gerund of spave. Spavining. Present participle and gerund of spavin. Spavins. Plural of spavin. Spaver. A surname. Eva. A surname. Deba. Scattered or ejected spittle. Debald. Simple past and past participle of spall. Spalling. That which is spalled or spat out. Spallings. Plural of spalling. Debaus. Plural of spall. Deba. A surname. Spawn camp. to stay near a spawn point in order to kill players immediately after they spawn. Spawn camped. Simple past and past participle of spawn camp. Spawn camper. A player who engages in camping or guarding the position of the enemy team's own spawn on the map. Spawn campers. Plural of spawn camper. Spawn camping. Present participle and gerund of spawn camp. Spawn camps. Third person singular simple present indicative of spawn camp. Spawn eater. A small American cyprinoid fish, Nitrobes hudsonius, allied to the dace. Spawn eaters. Plural of spawn eater. Spawn kill. Alternative form of spawn kill. Spawn killed. Simple past and past participle of spawn kill. Spawn killing. Present participle and gerund of spawn kill. Spawn kills. Third person singular simple present indicative of spawn kill. Spawn point. A location on a game map in which a player, bot, or item spawns. Spawn points. Plural of spawn point. Spawn kill. Alternative form of spawn kill. Spawn killed. Simple past and past participle of spawn kill. Spawn killing. Present participle and gerund of spawn kill. Spawn kills. Third person singular simple present indicative of spawn kill. Spawnable. Capable of being spawned. Spawn eater. Alternative form of spawn eater. Spawn eaters. Plural of spawn eater. Spawned. Simple past and past participle of spawn. Spawner. A female fish, often specifically a salmon, which is physiologically ready to spawn. Spawners. Plural of spawner. Spawne. Third person singular simple present indicative of spawn. Spawning. Present participle and gerund of spawn. Spawning bed. The underwater solid ground on which fish spawn. Spawning beds. Plural of spawning bed. Spawning ground. A zone in a riverbed or lake where fish breed and lay eggs. Spawning grounds. Plural of spawning ground. Spawnings. Plural of spawning. Sparkill. To kill a player or NPC enemy at a spawn point. Sparnkilled. Simple past and past participle of spawnkill. Sparnkilling. Present participle and gerund of spawnkill. Sparnkills. Third person singular simple present indicative of spawnkill. Spawnling. A creature newly spawned. Spawnlings. Plural of spawnling. Spawn point. Alternative form of spawn point. Spawn points. Plural of spawn point. Spawnproof. Preventing entities from spawning. Spawnproof. Simple past and past participle of spawnproof. Spawnproofing. Present participle of spawnproof. Spawnproofs. Third person singular simple present indicative of spawnproof. Spawns. Third person singular simple present indicative of spawn. Spawnstarian. The vampire spawn version of Astarion from the video game Baldur's Gate 3. Spawny. In some way like or resembling spawn. The buzz. Plural of spa. Spaxel. A spectral pixel. Spaxels. Plural of spaxel. To destroy or remove the ovaries or uterus of a female animal to prevent pregnancy. Spad. Obsolete form of spayard. Spayads, plural of spayad. Spayard, the heart in its third year, a young deer. Spayards, plural of spayard. Spayard, the heart in its third year, a young deer. Spayards, plural of spayard. Spay, a surname. Spay, obsolete form of spade. Spades, plural of spade. Spades, plural of spade. Spay, obsolete form of spay. Spay, simple past and past participle of spay. Spam, obsolete spelling of Spain. Spare, one who spays. Spares, plural of spare. Spaying, the act or operation of neutering an animal, normally used in reference to performing the operation on a female. Spayings, plural of spaying. Spanard, obsolete form of Spaniard. Spaniel, obsolete spelling of spaniel. Spanels, plural of spanel. Spanards, plural of spanard. Tabas, plural of spay. Tabas, an incompetent or physically uncoordinated person, a spasmo. Spaz attack, a sudden burst of excitement or nervousness. Spaz attacks, plural of spaz attack. Spaz out, to lose one's physical or emotional control. Ibaza, an informal trading post or convenience store found in townships and remote areas. Tabazas, plural of spaza. Spasm, misspelling of spasm. Spasmo, a stupid, incompetent, or physically uncoordinated person. Spasmos, plural of spasmo. Tabas, alternative spelling of spaz. Spaz out, to lose one's physical or emotional control. Tabas, simple past and past participle of spaz. Spaz out, simple past and past participle of spaz out. Spatter, a mentally retarded person. Spatters, plural of spazzer. Tabaz, plural of spaz. Spazzes out, third person singular simple present indicative of spaz out. Spatter, comparative form of spazzy, more spazzy. Spazist, superlative form of spazzy, most spazzy. Spatting, present participle and gerund of spaz. Spazzing out, present participle and gerund of spaz out. Spay, clumsy, inept. SPV, initialism of shortest path bridging, a network configuration technology. SBB, plural of SBB. SBC, initialism of St. Petersburg College. SIZA, initialism of Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. SBCK, initialism of Society for Promoting Christian Knowledge. SBC, plural of SBC. SBCOM, the Montreal Urban Community Police Service de Police de la Communauté Urbaine de Montréal, SBCOM, replaced by the SBVM. SBD, initialism of schizoid personality disorder. SBD, abbreviation of speed. SBI, initialism of single point diamond interchange. SBI, plural of SBEI. SBL, Initialism of Second Ponce de Leon Baptist Church. SBAL. Abbreviation of spindle. SBDLS. Plural of SBDL. SBD. Plural of SBD. SBX. Initialism of System/Software Package Data Exchange. IBI. Initialism of Solid Phase Extraction. IBIG. A surname. Speech is. Plural of speech. IBI. To communicate with one's voice, to say words out loud. Speak as one finds. To speak the truth plainly as one sees it, to be outspoken or blunt. Speak by the card. To speak from accurate information without guessing. Speak down to. Synonym of talk down to. Speak for. Used other than figuratively or idiomatically, see speak for. Speak for oneself. Expressing disagreement with an opinion expressed by another. Speak highly. To praise. Speak ill of. To vilify, to defame, to criticize. Speak in circles. Synonym of talk in circles. Speak in dollars. To speak English. Speak in terms. To speak plainly. Speak in tongues. To speak in a language unknown to the speaker, especially when in a state of religious ecstasy. Glossolalia. Speak like a book. Synonym of talk like a book. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Traditionally spoken during a wedding ceremony to allow guests an opportunity to voice any objections to the union. Speak up. To bespeak, show, indicate, foretell, suggest. Speak of the devil, an expression sometimes used when a person mentioned in the current conversation happens to arrive on the scene. Speak of the devil and he appears. Synonym of speak of the devil. Speak of the devil and he shall appear. Alternative form of speak of the devil. Speak one's conscience. To give one's frank and honest opinion. Speak one's mind. To state one's thoughts or opinions honestly or frankly. Speak out. To assert or promote one's opinion, to make one's thoughts known. Speak out of turn. Alternative form of talk out of turn. Speak softly and carry a big stick. Do not boast or utter verbal threats, but do make others aware that you are prepared to use physical or military force if necessary. Speak someone's language. To speak about concerns, feelings, ideas, etc. which someone understands well and can relate to intimately. Speak to give evidence regarding something, to attest or provide evidence for, to bespeak. Speak too soon. To say something that is then contradicted by events, normally in an unwelcome way. Speak truth to power. To address facts to an authority or a superior, especially in the face of risk to oneself. Speak up. To talk more loudly or clearly. Speak volumes. To talk a great deal. Speak with a forked tongue. To speak deceptively, to be duplicitous or untruthful. Speakest. Obsolete form of speakest. Speak box. An intercom that allows a visitor to a building to speak to someone inside before being allowed entry, an interphone. Speak boxes. Plural of speak box. Speakability, the quality of being speakable. Speakable, that can be spoken, utterable, verbalizable. Speakableness, the quality of being speakable. A surname. Is plural of speakeasy. Speakeasy, an illegal saloon or tavern, especially one operated during the American Prohibition period in the 1920s. Speakeasy-like, resembling a speakeasy. Speakeasies, plural of speakeasy. Debate, simple past and past participle of speak. Speaky, a person who is spoken to. Speakies, plural of speaky. Speaking, present participle and gerund of speak. Speaker, alternative letter case form of speaker presiding officer of a legislative body. Speaker base, the aggregate of people who speak some language. Speaker bases, plural of speaker base. Speaker enclosure, synonym of loudspeaker and encasing containing loudspeakers. Speaker enclosures, plural of speaker enclosure. Speaker point, each of the points awarded to an individual speaker in a formal debate for speaking and debating well. Speaker points, plural of speaker point. Speaker's staff, synonym of talking stick, a ceremonial stick that grants the holder the right to speak. Speaker's staffs, plural of speaker's staff. Speaker/strobe, a fire alarm notification appliance consisting of a speaker and a strobe. Speaker/strobes, plural of speaker/strobe. Speakeress, a female speaker, all human senses. Speakeresses, plural of speakeress. Speakerine, a female speaker. Speakerines, plural of speakerine. Speakerless, without a speaker narrator. Speakerlessness, absence of a speaker. Speaker-like, resembling a speaker. Speakerly, befitting a speaker or order. Speakerphone, a telephone with a microphone and loudspeaker separate from those in the handset. Speakerphones, plural of speakerphone. Speakers, plural of speaker. Speakership, the position or tenure of the speaker of a legislative body. Speakerships, plural of speakership. Debates, plural of speak. Speakus, second person singular simple present indicative of speak. Speaka, third person singular simple present indicative of speak. Debate, a talkie, a film with sound. Speakies, plural of speaky. Speaking, pronunciation spelling of speaking. Speaking, used in speaking. Speaking as one finds, present participle and gerund of speak as one finds. Speaking clock, a person employed to read the time over a telephone line. Speaking clocks, plural of speaking clock. Speaking down to, present participle and gerund of speak, down to. Speaking for, present participle and gerund of speak for. Speaking for oneself, present participle and gerund of speak for oneself. Speaking highly, present participle and gerund of speak highly. Speaking ill of, present participle and gerund of speak ill of. Speaking in circles, present participle and gerund of speak in circles. Speaking in tongues, the act of speaking a language one does not know or speaking elaborate but apparently meaningless speech, while in a trance-like state or, supposedly, under the influence of a deity or spirits, glossolalia. Speaking objection. An objection that is argumentative in nature and volunteers more information than necessary for a judge to evaluate it. Speaking objections. Plural of speaking objection. Speaking of. Present participle and gerund of speak of. Speaking one's mind. Present participle and gerund of speak one's mind. Speaking out. Present participle and gerund of speak out. Speaking someone's language. Present participle and gerund of speak someone's language. Speaking terms. A slight acquaintance allowing for the exchange of salutations and general remarks. Speaking to. Present participle and gerund of speak to. Speaking trumpet. A megaphone of the older, non-electric kind. Speaking trumpets. Plural of speaking trumpet. Speaking truth to power. Present participle and gerund of speak truth to power. Speaking tube. A tube for conveying speech, especially from one room to another at a distance. Speaking tubes. Plural of speaking tube. Speaking up. Present participle and gerund of speak up. Speaking voice. A person's voice when speaking. Speaking volumes. Present participle and gerund of speak volumes. Speaking with a forked tongue. Present participle and gerund of speak with a forked tongue. Speaking with tongues. Speaking in tongues. Speakingly. In an expressive manner. Speakingness. Expressiveness, eloquence. Speakings. Plural of speaking. Speakman. A surname. Speakmans. Plural of speakmen. Speako. A mistake made when speaking, for example saying the wrong word accidentally. Speakos. Plural of speako. Speak at. A public forum or meeting at which members of a community speak out about an issue facing the community, for example rape. Speak at. Plural of speak out. Debase. Third person singular simple present indicative of speak. Speaks as one finds. Third person singular simple present indicative of speak as one finds. Speaks down to. Third person singular simple present indicative of speak down to. Speaks for. Third person singular simple present indicative of speak for. Speaks for oneself. Third person singular simple present indicative of speak for oneself. Speaks highly. Third person singular simple present indicative of speak highly. Speaks ill of. Third person singular simple present indicative of speak ill of. Speaks in circles. Third person singular simple present indicative of speak in circles. Speaks in tongues. Third person singular simple present indicative of speak in tongues. Speaks out. Third person singular simple present indicative of speak of. Speaks one's mind. Third person singular simple present indicative of speak one's mind. Speaks out. Third person singular simple present indicative of speak out. Speaks out of turn. Third person singular simple present indicative of speak out of turn. Speaks someone's language. Third person singular simple present indicative of speak someone's language. Space steer. Third person singular simple present indicative of speak to. Speaks truth to power. Third person singular simple present indicative of speak truth to power. Speaks up. Third person singular simple present indicative of speak up. Speaks volumes. Third person singular simple present indicative of speak volumes. Speaks with a forked tongue. Third person singular simple present indicative of speak with a forked tongue. Speak worthy of mention. Worthy of being spoken, mentionable. Treo, only used in spiel bone, shoulder bone. Spiel bone, the shoulder blade. Spiel bones, plural of spiel bone. Spiel bone, alternative form of spiel bone. Spiel bones, plural of spiel bone. A river in Highland Council area, Scotland, which flows into the River Lochie. Spian Bridge, a village in Highland Council area, Scotland. OS Grid Ref NN 2281. Abind. Simple past and past participle of spien. Speening, present participle and gerund of spien. Tabans, plural of spien. Clear, an English surname. Spear biscuits, to search garbage for food. Spear carrier, a person in a play or movie with a minimal part, an extra. Spear carriers, plural of spear carrier. Spear catcher, a person who is responsible for dealing with aggression or demands directed at another party. Spear catchers, plural of spear catcher. Spear chucker, alternative form of spear chucker. Spear chuckers, plural of spear chucker. Spear closet, a small irregular space left by the building of other rooms in a structure. Spear closets, plural of spear closet. Spear feet, plural of spear foot. Spear foot, the off-hind foot of a horse. Spear grass, alternative form of spear grass. Spear grasses, plural of spear grass. Spear gun, a form of mechanical gun that fires a spear as a projectile, generally used underwater when spearfishing. Spear guns, plural of spear gun. Spear lilies, plural of spear lily. Spear lily, the flowering plant Dorian's Pomery. Spear penny, a fine under medieval Welsh law levied on related male landowners when the immediate kin of a murder proved incapable of paying galanas. Spear fishing, alternative form of spearfishing. Spear sigh, the male or paternal branch of a family. Spear sides, plural of spear sigh. Spear tackle, an offensive tackle in which the tackled player is lifted up and driven into the ground head first. This is very dangerous and can result in serious injury to the neck and spine and often a red or yellow card. Spear tackles, plural of spear tackle. Spear thistle, a biennial herb of species Cirsium vulgare. Spear thistles, plural of spear thistle. Spear tip, alternative form of spear tip. Spear tips, plural of spear tip. Spear carrier, alternative form of spear carrier. Spear carriers, plural of spear carrier. Spear chucker, alternative form of spear chucker. Spear chuckers, plural of spear chucker. Spearhead, alternative form of spearhead. Spearheads, plural of spearhead. Spear penny, alternative form of spear penny. Spearpoint, alternative form of spearpoint. Spear points. Plural of spear point. Spearrib. Alternative form of sparerib. Spearribs. Plural of spearrib. Alternative form of spareribs. Spear thrower. Alternative form of spur thrower. Spear throwers. Plural of spear thrower. Spear tip. Alternative form of spear tip. Spear tips. Plural of spear tip. Spearable. Able to be speared. Spearbush. A plant native to Australia, Pandorea dortoxylon. Spear carrier. Alternative form of spear carrier. Spear carriers. Plural of spear carrier. Spearcast. The throwing of a spear. Spearcaster. A sling-like device used to impart greater impetus to a thrown spear. Spearcasters. Plural of spearcaster. Spearcasts. Plural of spearcasts. Spearchecker. A black African or African American or an Aboriginal Australian person. Spearcheckers. Plural of spearchecker. Spear. Obsolete spelling of spear. Spear. Wielding a spear. Spearer. One who uses a spear. Spearers. Plural of spearer. Spear. Third person singular simple present indicative of spear. Spirit. A city in South Dakota, United States of America. Spirit. Simple past and past participle of spearfish. Spearfisher. One who fishes with a spear. Spearfisheries. Plural of spearfishery. Spearfisherman. A male spearfisher. Spearfisherman. Plural of spearfishermen. Spearfishers. Plural of spearfisher. Spearfisherwoman. A female spearfisher. Spearfisherwomen. Plural of spearfisherwoman. Spearfishery. A fishery worked by spearfishers. Spearfish. Plural of spearfish. Spearfishing. A form of fishing in which the fisherman attempts to impale the fish upon a spear, which may be thrust or thrown by hand or with a spear gun. Speargrass. Any of several not closely related grasses in some way reminiscent of a spear. Speargrasses. Plural of speargrass. Spear gun. A tube-shaped gun that fires a barbed spear, almost always for underwater use. Spear guns. Plural of spear gun. Spearhead. The pointed head or end of a spear. Spearheaded. Simple past and past participle of spearhead. Spearheader. One who spearheads a movement, campaign, etc. Spearheaders. Plural of spearheader. Spearheading. Present participle and gerund of spearhead. Spearheads. Plural of spearhead. Spearing. A surname. Spearings. Plural of spearing. Severus. Without a spear. Spurlet. A small spear. Spurlets. Plural of spurlet. Spear-like. Resembling a spear. Spearmaker. One who makes spears. Spearmakers. Plural of spearmaker. Spearmaking. The making of spears. Spearman. A surname originating as an occupation. Spearman's rank correlation coefficient. a statistical measure that expresses two variables by correlation on a scale from 1 to -1. Spearman's rank correlation coefficients. Plural of Spearman's rank correlation coefficient. Spearman's row. Synonym of Spearman's rank correlation coefficient. Spearman's rows. Plural of Spearman's row. Spearman's. Plural of spearman. Spearmanship. The skill or art of using a spear. Spearman. Plural of spearman. Spearmint. A herb of the mint family Mentha spicata, commonly used in herb tea, candy, and to treat mild stomach ache. Spearmints. Plural of spearmint. Spearmint tea. Resembling or characteristic of spearmint. Sparrow. A spearfisher. Sparrows. Plural of spearo. Spearfisher. One who engages in spearfishing. Spearfishers. Plural of spearfisher. Spearfishing. Fishing against a small group of selected targets who are more likely to be attracted. Spearfly. Fighting or practice exercises with spears. Spearpoint. The point or tip of a spear. Spearpoints. Plural of spearpoint. Spearproof. Resistant to spears. An English surname transferred from the nickname. Spearhaft. The shaft of the spear. Spearhafts. Plural of spearshaft. Spearman. Alternative form of spearman. Spearsman. Plural of spearsman. Spearsmith. A smith who makes spears. Spur thrower. A handheld tool used as a lever to increase the throwing distance and penetrating force of a spear or dart, and atlatl. A woomera. Spur throwers. Plural of spur thrower. Speardip. The tip, end, or point of a spear. Speardips. Plural of speardip. Spearwoman. A female warrior who fights with a spear. Spearwoman. Plural of spearwoman. Spearwood. The erect woody evergreen shrub Kunzia ericifolia, endemic to Western Australia. Spear. Combat or hunting with a spear. Spear. Any of various perennial herbaceous plants in the ranunculus buttercup genus. Spearworts. Plural of spearwort. Speary. Having the form of a spear. One of the rods on which fish are placed to drain before being smoked. Is bait. Plural of speet. Topek. Initialism of species of European conservation concern. Avec. Clipping of specification. Spec-evo. Clipping of speculative evolution. Spec home. A home that is built by or for a homebuilder according to their specifications without a purchase order. It is instead built on spec. Spec homes. Plural of spec home. Spec op. Singular of spec ops. Spec ops. Clipping of special operations clipped compound. Spec out. To create, draw up the list of specifications for something, to specify all the attributes of something. Spec script. A screenplay for a movie that is written on spec and then purchased or sold on the open market as opposed to one commissioned by a studio or production company. Spec scripts. Plural of spec script. Spec up. To improve, optimize, or maximize the attributes of something. At back. Simple past and past participle of spec, alternative spelling of specs. Specked out. Simple past and past participle of speck out. Alternative spelling of specked out. Specking. Present participle and gerund of speck. Alternative spelling of spexing. Specking out. Present participle and gerund of speck out. Alternative spelling of spexing out. Spectrum. A user or fan of the Sinclair ZX Spectrum computer. Spectrums. Plural of spectrum. The abbreviation of species. Spext. Simple past and past participle of spec. Specks out. Simple past and past participle of speck out. Spexed up. Simple past and past participle of speck up. Specchia. A megalithic pile of stones found in the Salento region of Italy. Specchi. Plural of specchia. Spexy. Alternative form of Specky the Spectator, a British current affairs magazine. Speckis. Plural of specky. Spexe. Present participle and gerund of speck. Spexing out. Present participle and gerund of speck out. Spexing up. Present participle and gerund of speck up. Specky. The Spectator, a British current affairs magazine. Ibis. A surname. Debasis. Plural of species. Speci. The aviation special weather report, especially encoded weather observation report. Special. Distinguished by a unique or unusual quality. Special administrative region. Designation for types of administrative division in China, East Timor, and North Korea. Special administrative regions. Plural of special administrative region. Special agent. A detective of the United States government. Special agents. Plural of special agent. Special Air Service. An elite unit of the British Army. Similar units operate in the Australian and New Zealand armies. Special Area. Any one of 3 specific rural municipalities in Alberta, Canada, governed by the Special Areas Board. Special Areas. Plural of special area. Special Branch. A unit, typically part of the police, that is responsible for matters of national security and intelligence. Special Case. A specialized instance of a more general phenomenon, category, etc. Special Case. Simple past and past participle of special case. Special cases. Plural of special case. Special casing. Present participle and gerund of special case. Special character. A symbol that is not an alphanumeric character, a non-alphanumeric character. Special characters. Plural of special character. Special constable. A volunteer police officer. Special constables. Plural of special constable. Special counsel. A special prosecutor. Special counsels. Plural of special counsel. Special creation. In creationism, a theological doctrine which asserts that the origin of the universe and all life is suddenly sprang into being by unconditional fiat or divine decree. Special damages. Damages that can be quantified precisely, including such things as plaintiff's medical expenses, lost wages, and similar out-of-pocket costs as contrasted with general damages, such as pain and suffering, which must be estimated. such as mental disorder or coercion that may be raised in criminal proceedings upon notice by the accused ahead of the trial, and which, if established, will result in an acquittal. Special defenses, plural of special defense. Special defense, a special move used to defend against damage. Special defenses, plural of special defense. Special deliveries, plural of special delivery. Special delivery, a kind of postal service in which, for an extra fee, letters and packages are delivered in a highly expedited manner by a special courier. Special drawing right, a monetary unit of account maintained by the International Monetary Fund (IMF), the value of which is based on a basket of major currencies, currently since 2016 consisting of the US dollar, the euro, the renminbi, the Japanese yen, and the pound sterling. Special drawing rights, plural of special drawing right. Special economic zone, an area in which the business and trade laws are different from the rest of the country to encourage investment and development, especially through fiscal incentives. Special economic zones, plural of special economic zone. Special ed, flipping of special education. Special education, any of several educational services designed for students with learning difficulties, mental health problems, or other disabilities. Special education advocate, a professional, other than an attorney, who provides advice and representation regarding children with educational disabilities. Special education advocates, plural of special education advocate. Special educator, a teacher who specifically teaches children with special needs, a special education teacher. Special educators, plural of special educator. Special effect, an effect that cannot be reasonably achieved by normal means, as for example by the digital manipulation of previously filmed footage. Special effects, plural of special effect. Special election, an election scheduled at other than the usual date for a specific purpose, often to fill an office that has become vacant before the incumbent has completed the term. Special elections, plural of special election. Special event, a public event such as a ball game, parade, or festival that requires transportation planning, especially including roadway closure, and often a city permit in consequence. Special events, plural of special event. Special forces, elite military forces engaged in special operations such as guerrilla warfare or counterterrorism. Special fried rice, a Chinese-style dish of fried rice with prawns, pork, chicken, peas, scallions, egg yolk, or other ingredients. Special friend, a partner or lover. Special friends, plural of special friend. Special function, any of various specific mathematical functions that have more or less established names and notations due to their importance. Special functions, plural of special function. Special geographic area, an exclave of the region of Bangsamoro in the province of Cotabato, Philippines. Special grace, in Reformed theology, the grace by which God redeems, sanctifies, and glorifies His people. Unlike common grace, which is universally given, special grace is bestowed only on those whom God elects to eternal life through faith in Jesus Christ. Special handling unit, synonym of whole solitary confinement. Special handling units, plural of special handling unit. Special interests, a particular political issue that is the focus of political advocacy. Special interest group, an advocacy group. Special interest groups, plural of special interest group. Special interests, Plural of special interests. Special issue. An issue taken by denying a particular part of the allegations. Special issues. Plural of special issue. Special K. A breakfast cereal made primarily from rice and wheat. Special Lassi. A lassi yogurt-based drink with cannabis mixed in. Special Lasses. Plural of special lassi. Special license. A marriage license granted by the Archbishop of Canterbury or his officials, permitting the marriage of two specified persons without banns and at a place and time other than those prescribed by law. Special licenses. Plural of special license. Special linear group. For given field F and order n, the group of n times n matrices with determinant 1, with the group operations of matrix multiplication and matrix inversion. Special linear groups. Plural of special linear group. Special master. An authority appointed by a judge to make sure that judicial orders are actually followed. Special masters. Plural of special master. Special measures. External administration for a failing public service such as a school or hospital. Special military operation. A military situation resembling a war, especially the 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine. Special military operations. Plural of special military operation. Special move. An exceptionally powerful fighting move. Special moves. Plural of special move. Special needs. Needs for special care, services, or accommodations for disabilities. Special Olympian. Someone who competes in the Special Olympics. Special Olympians. Plural of Special Olympian. Special Olympics. A sports competition held every 2 years for people who have intellectual disabilities. Special operation. Singular of special operations. Special operations. A category of military operations with unusual and stringent requirements and methods, such as guerrilla warfare or counterterrorism. Special ops. Synonym of special operations. Special order sale. The sale of an item that is not stocked by ordering it from another company. Special order sales. Plural of special order sale. Special pleader. Someone who uses special pleading. Someone who argues that a particular case is an exception to a generally accepted rule without justification or without a relevant basis. Special pleaders. Plural of special pleader. Special pleading. Arguing that a particular case is an exception to a generally accepted rule without justification and without a relevant basis. Special pleadings. Plural of special pleading. Special proceeding. A judicial proceeding other than an action, such as a writ of mandamus. Special proceedings. Plural of special proceeding. Special prosecutor. A lawyer assigned to investigate and, if necessary, prosecute a case for which there is a conflict of interest for the normal prosecuting authority. Special prosecutors. Plural of special prosecutor. Special rapporteur. A person who works on behalf of a regional or international organization and is charged with investigating, monitoring, and recommending solutions to specific human rights problems. Special rapporteurs. Plural of special rapporteur. Special region of Yogyakarta. An autonomous region of Indonesia. Capital, Yogyakarta. Special relationship. The political and diplomatic relationship between the United States and the United Kingdom beginning in the World War II era. Special relativity. a theory that neglecting the effects of gravity reconciles the principle of relativity with the observation that the speed of light is constant in all frames of reference. Special resolution, a resolution that requires a large majority vote of members present, usually 2/3 or 3/4, at a general meeting of a company. Special resolutions, plural of special resolution. Special retainer, a fee paid to counsel for work on a particular case. Special retainers, plural of special retainer. Special revelation, God's revelation made exclusively to his chosen people in his divine word, as opposed to knowledge of God attained through any other means such as philosophy. Special rights, an undeserved right that grants a demographic and unfair advantage over the majority. Special saloon, a special railway carriage reserved for royalty and other dignitaries. Special saloons, plural of special saloon. Special sauce, a basic ingredient in McDonald's Big Mac hamburgers, a sort of Thousand Island dressing now called Big Mac sauce by the company. Special sauces, plural of special sauce. Special school,